Action Film Autopsy.
Oh baby, did you
Oh,
put
yeah.
did you put new clips in this time, or is this the same as the last month?
It's the same as last month, yeah.
Okay, I guess I didn't notice the other ones because it was so. I mean, I didn't even remember the Venoms from last month, and then I'm going, oh wow, nice shot of Venoms. Hey,
Gotta
So,
represent the Venoms, baby. What is
Yeah.
going on? It's your boy Preston PhatSamuraiGuy, and welcome back to another episode of Action Film Autopsy. That's right, and we have two awesome guests as usual. We got the Anubis that be DJing. Welcome back, brother.
Thank you
Loving
much.
loving that background. Yes. Thanks again for creating the awesome thumbnail for today's episode. And you know him, you love him. That's right. Kung Fu Santa, award-winning author. Welcome back, brother.
I'm very well. I thought, since he was DJing, I figured I would be Santa-ing.
There you go.
There we go.
He's got the beard. He's got the beard. I'm never going to catch Rick.
Ho ho ho!
I'm never going to catch him. It's not going to happen. He's the king
You
of
will.
beards.
You always catch me. It's San Diego Comic-Con this year.
That's right.
I love how Samurai put me in the top as if I'm running the show. He's the one that's running the show.
You're the special guest. I'm here all the time. You're the special guest.
Well, I like to be in the middle because, I put up the images. No one needs to see my ugly face. I want to see these guys.
Oh, you're the big movie star. Stop it.
Yes.
Movie star.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Celebrity.
Certified Bash channel member John Mosley in the house. Good to see you, brother. All right. Yeah. Jake Hall here. What's going on? Good to see another certified badass channel member is in the EZ. That's right. All the way from the UK, son. Kevin, good to see you, brother. That's right. Movie Dojo Army 4 Live. Good to see everybody watching. Yes. More badass channel members. Oh, yes. All right. All right. We're going to get into it here. We have a plethora of things to talk about, movies and shows. Rick's
what a
picks,
month. What
all
a
that
month.
I know, right? Yeah, all that good stuff, and
all that bad stuff too.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the bad stuff is, but we're going to get to it. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Number one up first here, we have. I saw the trailer to this, and it looked fun. But how was Mickey 17?
Well, there's a reason. Usually, if you're a longtime viewer of the Action Film Autopsy, we usually start with the streaming stuff. But this month, I decided that we start with the cinematic stuff because slowly but surely, the two of them seem to be switching places. A majority of the movies this month, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, don't deserve a big screen. They would have been better served to watch them at home because I don't know about the rest of you out there, but I have a nice big screen, putting it in perspective.
Right.
I mean,
right.
I went to the theaters to see Mickey 17. And I'm sitting there going, I really should have just watched this at home because I'm in the back row of a cinema, which has a screen of a certain ratio. Right. But when I stand, because I usually watch a movie in my dark room, beautiful sound, 70-inch screen, much better color. The image on the television on my screen is better than the one in the theaters because in the theaters now, because they're struggling to survive and they're struggling to get people. Me and my friend were the only guys in the theater. So and in the lobby there was only one ticket taker, only one person behind the refreshment, and no ushers at all.
Wow.
So that shows that, of course, they're struggling to survive, and these employees who are getting, I don't know if they're getting minimum wage or not, are not going to spend a lot of time making sure everything works perfectly. That's why I was happy to say that Mickey 17 had the proper aspect ratio, and the sound was good, and the picture was okay. But my picture at home is better. And also, this is the first time I've been to the movie theater in 2 years where something didn't go wrong.
Right.
Aspect radio, sound, image, projector bulb. And it's kind of like, so, I said, I should have been at home for this. Because, there you go. There you go, Damo. Absolutely right. By the way, Damo, did you get that from my books? But that's okay. The name, Damo. because that's in my You're the Ninja Master and War of the Ninja Master books. My leading character is called Damo, which is Japanese for nobody, because he's a ninja.
Right.
But anyway, enough about that. So Mickey 17, I was in the movie theaters, and I'm enjoying I know the original because I'm a science fiction writer as well. Member of this in good standing of the Science Fiction Writers of America. So I knew the original book. And I'm going, it's Bong Joon-ho. Oh, great. Bong is going to do this justice. And for a while, he did.
Okay.
In fact, this movie is he made a decision to change something. The book, he was following the book very well, but then he changed one major thing. And you can see it in the performance of Mark Ruffalo. I could see, because also I'm an actor. I've been in movies, I've been on theaters and all the rest of it. So I watch, and I love Mark Ruffalo. I think he's a great actor, very versatile. And I'm watching in this, and I'm feeling uncomfortable watching him because I realize that he's uncomfortable. He is not enjoying his own performance. And the reason he's not is, I believe, Bong changed that character. That character was changed from the book. In the book, he was a quintessential politician.
Okay.
And that's interesting because in order to be a politician, in order to be a Hollywood star, in order to be a Hollywood producer or director or writer, you usually have to behave in a certain way because you're surrounded. It's communal kind of thing. And politics at this point is well, it's always been, if you check history, it's always been difficult because you have to behave a certain way. You have to play. But be that as it may, if Mark Ruffalo was allowed to play the character in the book, this would have been a great movie that I would have loved. Instead, I hate this movie just because of that change.
Wow.
Did any of you guys see the movie?
No, I did not know.
No.
Mark Ruffalo was forced, there he is, was forced to do an impersonation, and you can't even call it a satire, of Agent Orange.
How was Toni Collette in it?
All of them are great, although she had to adapt her character's role to be Agent Orange's consort.
Okay.
And for me, it just ruins the movie because I could see Bong going, I'm going to stick it to him, but you're sticking it to the audience. This movie failed.
Wow.
In America, did great in Korea, but I'm not surprised.
Right.
Because Korea is not stuck with Agent Orange. One way or another, even if you're for Agent Orange or against Agent Orange, you're still stuck.
Right.
And this could have been a great movie. It was a great movie, except every time he comes on screen, it kind of like
it took you out of it, huh?
It breaks everything, and also not just the fact that he's doing it, but the fact that he's clearly not enjoying doing it. And I haven't done the research behind the scenes, but I bet he was royally pissed behind the scenes.
He looks constipated.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons I chose, either you or I chose that picture, because that encapsulated the signal, because he's usually doesn't look like that. But the moment he stops, if you go see the movie, watch Ruffalo, because while he's talking, while he's acting, he's doing his job. But the moment he stops talking, dead face.
He looks like that dude, Levito, the comic in that picture. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Danny DeVito.
Lovitz.
John Lovitz.
John Lovitz?
John Lovitz, yeah.
A little bit. He gained weight for the role.
Yeah, that's why it looks like he did, yeah.
But again, it was very, very disappointing. It was a great movie, except for that which really poisoned the whole thing.
Right.
And I'm not surprised that it was bad. Thankfully, the other great thing about in all the movies we're going to be talking about, none of them was wildly successful. That doesn't mean the next one we're talking about, I was very surprised. I loved it. It was great.
All right.
Bring it up.
All right. Next up, we have, hey, old Michael Fassbender here. All right.
Yeah, Max,
Black Bag.
Now you notice there's Michael Fassbender as the gentleman who's just below him to his right.
Oh, Pierce.
Yeah, he's playing. This is filmmakers. I think last month I said that every filmmaker who ever wanted to make a James Bond movie should be allowed to make their own James Bond movie now that Amazon has it. This is Steven Soderbergh's James Bond movie.
All right.
And as such, it's great. There's a couple of movies I remember. Frank, who couldn't be with us, they changed his work schedule.
Boo.
But yeah, exactly. It would be wonderful to have him. But he mentioned to me that there's a certain movie we're going to be talking about, which he maintained is not an action film. And I said, wait, because they're all action films. People move, but a different kind of action.
Okay.
This movie has fights. This movie has gunplay, but it's very little of it. What this movie is a great James Bond movie. It's one of the ones I always wanted them to do with Tom Hiddleston, which was, you'd have him be a very smart agent, so he didn't have to keep resorting to fighting. That's what this is. The way I described it while I was watching it, my eyes were getting wider and wider, and my mouth was getting deeper and deeper, and I suddenly realized what this was. There's action at the end, but Soderbergh uses it because Soderbergh is smart. He uses the action as punctuation, not as the sentence, as punctuation. So it has a power to it. But what's great about this movie, it's also written by David Koepp, however you pronounce that guy's names, Koepp, who's a very, very respected. I've always respected him because he wrote the actual last Indiana Jones movie, which George Lucas wouldn't let them make. But everybody else except Lucas thought it was the absolute perfect last Indiana Jones movie. But no, he wanted Crystal Skull and all this other stuff. But be that as it may, so this is David Koepp. So I was expecting him, since he was working with Soderbergh, to do a top-notch job, and he did, because what this movie is, and when you see it, and I suggest you see it, and again, you don't have to go to the movie theaters for it. This would be perfect at home, in your room, with the big screen, with the lights out. Watch the movie. And that's something else I like doing when I'm at home. I'll just go right up to the screen. I'll go back and I'll go up, but I'll be able to move my position so I can see everything. But be that as it may, in this movie, the brains are the guns. And the quips are the bullets. Brains are the guns, quips are the bullets. Because we have a bunch of really terrific actors. It's so nice to see Pierce being given a part he can get into. But, look at Cate Blanchett, look at Fassbender. These guys were made to have their brains be their guns and their mouths, shoot bullets. And they do. They do. Everybody does. Everybody has great dialogue, and the plot is involving and building. It's a classic spy plot, because this is really a combination of Ian Fleming and John le Carré, because John le Carré with Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy has the same plot. They have to find the traitor. They have to find the double agent, and that's the classic Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy plot line. But it's David Koepp and Steven Soderbergh doing it. And Fassbender, you look at him and go, yeah, he'd make a great James Bond. And he does in here. Look at him. Look how James Bondy he is.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, it's really good. Let me see. I wrote down something else. Yeah. I wrote down here, when I saw it in the theaters, I'm going, I shouldn't be seeing it here. I should be seeing it at home. Because I was in the theater sort of like going, I just wanted to do this all the time. Yeah.
I didn't even know this went to theater.
But again, yeah, it did. It'll be on streaming any second, because it appeared in the theater for 2 weeks. Wow. And even though it didn't cost a lot of money, it's still losing money. It wasn't none of these things are huge successes. Mickey 17 was a failure, Black Bag was not a huge success, but I think it may be fine. I think it'll break even.
Okay.
But the thing that I found fascinating another thing about the movie going experience is that everybody in the movie going world is realizing that, again, streaming and movies are beginning to switch places. And so in each one of these movies had at least 10 minutes, maybe even 15 minutes, maybe even a half hour. I can't remember how long, of trailers. The thing that amazed me, it didn't amaze me, but I sort of went, that makes sense. 3/4, if not 5/6 of the trailers were horror movies. Well, slasher movies, murder movies. Because I said, of course they are, because studios don't want to risk all that money anymore. The thing about these horror movies, and these are all horror movies without big names, of course not. There are no big names in them because the big names cost money. Big directors cost money. So they're making these because they know there's an audience for it. They know people will go to the theaters for it. So that's why it's taking over. But unfortunately, it's a shame that we're not back to when I was a kid, when there was only one theater. You would go to the movie theater and it would be one. It wouldn't be a plex. Now that we have all these plexes, these guys are just behind the 8 ball.
Bring back the drive-in.
Well, the drive-in is coming back, but the drive-in doesn't have the technology necessary. That's the other thing that movie theaters have to fight now. You need the big, Frank is always saying he's only going to see movies in the biggest theater he can find. But those movies have to be worthy of those theaters. Going to see Mickey 17 or Black Bag or the next couple of movies we're going to talk about in a IMAX or in any of those things.
Right. Nah.
So the movies, they hopefully by 2020, by middle of this year, end of this year, beginning of next year, they'll start making movies, big movies again. That's something else might as well talk about it now. I mean, just to get you prepared, the thing that I'm ending with is another theatrical movie, but I'm saving it to the end. And that's because it's one of the most incredible disasters and stupid things of all time. And I want to solve the mystery of that. But the point here is that why did that come out the way it did? Because again, the manipulations going on in the movie world are such. I'm looking forward to Thunderbolts. Who isn't looking forward to Thunderbolts? But I've seen a lot of complaints because there are always a lot of complaints. You can't avoid them, even though I try to avoid social media at this point. You can't avoid the complaints.
If the action is good,
but the action is good. They just released originally under this sweater. I had an Avengers shirt on.
Right.
And I was going to pull it up at the right. Oh yeah, dude, I have the Mickey one for that last thing we're going to be talking about.
Right.
But be that as it may, but complaints were going, why did they give away in this Avengers special event they released? Why did they give away the ending of Thunderbolts in that? I'm really mad at Marvel for doing that. How could they do that? And I said, think about what position Marvel is in / Disney is in now.
Desperate.
They're not desperate, but they have a disaster on their hand, and they have a disaster that they have what I call an insulting disaster. It's not bad enough that this is bad.
Right.
It's insulting.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you, Andre.
We got a super chat here. Thanks, Bo, for the super chat. He says actors are getting paid by this streaming as well, so they get the same. So
they get a package deal,
right? To get the package deal, right?
If I was in the position that Bob Iger is in now over at Disney, I would have done the same thing. I'm willing to not ruin. I don't care about the ending. The movie has to be good. If the ending is, but I don't mind getting a hint as to what happens, because a lot of people are going, all the Thunderbolt, another rumor, all the Thunderbolts are going to die at the end of the movie. But then with this trailer, they make it fairly clear that they're not. No, you ruined it. And it's like, no, they didn't ruin it. What they're doing is letting you know there is more to come. They needed to get you excited about something again and not
Right.
concentrate on the insulting disaster.
Right.
So
I
there
think
we
I
go.
know which
Well, we all
insulting
don't
disaster
we?
we're gonna get to it in a second here.
We're
No,
about a
this
second.
look
We got a lot more to go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now the trailer for this looked hilarious. Novocaine, how was it?
Interesting. Well, I understand why it didn't do well.
This went to theater too?
Yeah, it was at the theater too.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Everything we're talking about up
Is in
until
cinemas. Gotcha.
the Looney Tunes is in cinemas. And so as such, again, I'm watching it and I'm going, this would be so much better at home. This would be successful at home. And I don't know, I keep on losing track of which ones were originally set for streaming. I know that the Looney Tunes movie was set for streaming and they decided to move it into theaters for whatever reason. I don't know if this one, Novocaine, was set for streaming first, but it would have made sense because I would have really enjoyed it a lot more if it hadn't been in the movie theater. But in the movie theater, I think you, Phat, and you, DJ, will enjoy it. Yeah, Jake, okay. I agree with you. But remember, we're dealing with me here. old me. And, and I'm going, yeah, this is cool.
Get off my lawn.
No, not get off my lawn. Stay on my lawn, but get on. And again, who are you, Phat?
Who am I?
You are a badass, right?
Yes, badass. I like the badass stuff.
Jake, are you badass? I think you're badass too, right?
Yeah.
Jake, and how about you, DJ? You're pretty much badass too, right? You know who I am.
You're badass.
I am not badass.
No, you're badass.
And I'm smart ass.
Well, you're definitely wise ass, but
so I'm, and I'm the guy who was at Disney lecturing on the art of screen action and trying to convince them to change the way they do action because it's all becoming so repetitive.
Yeah.
Because it's not realistic. So here, I was hoping that this movie would do what The Sixth Sense did. Because when I'm watching The Sixth Sense, I'm going, oh, are they going to do the big twist? Are they going to do the big twist? Are they going to? And they did. And I'm like going, yay, they did the big twist. And in other words, it engaged me intellectually, not just visually.
Right.
Novocaine has a basic idea. It's on the posters. Again, they like to have one ideas in their movies now, not more than one idea. I understand that. And because they want to attract the badasses. And this guy doesn't feel pain.
Right.
And I'm waiting for them to do a John Wick, but one better, which is Fast and the Furious, John Wick, nobody gets hurt. Nobody in those movies get hurt. This guy bleeds, but he doesn't get hurt. And I'm saying, are you going to use that to do a little wink, wink, nod, nod at these other movies? But no, it's simply just, they just have a reason he doesn't get hurt. Nothing else changes. And as such, I think you'll enjoy it. Had I not been, wise ass, smart ass, I would have said, I'll give it to you. You guys did the best you could. The actor does a nice job. Everybody, it's okay. It's what the streamer. It's interesting also that they put it in the theaters. I think because the idea that he couldn't be hurt made the people take it away from the streaming and into the theaters, because we'll be talking about this when we get to the streamers too, which is they're getting to this point where they understand that a large section of the population watches movies now as a second screen. They're looking at their number one screen, but the movie is playing on the second screen. And they don't want anything that's going to make them do this. In other words,
right.
They don't want to distract it. And that will explain the most expensive streaming movie we'll be talking about this issue. So Novocaine, I think they put that in because he couldn't be hurt, because he thought it might upset people at home or like confuse people at home, because they're easily confused apparently. Yeah. But I think you'll enjoy it. The Kerry Gregg was the stunt coordinator. Radoslav Parvanov was the fight choreographer. and they both do a fine job. But interestingly, the directors gave them these is basically their first jobs as the top guy
Okay.
in the action area. So they did the best they could, and it's entertaining.
Copy
And
that.
also, the only problem with Novocaine is it's a little long. A little
bit too long.
Black Bag was 94 minutes.
Wow.
It
I
moves
like
along.
it. I like it.
All those
Oh.
quips and all those brains.
I can't.
90 minutes.
I'm sorry, Rick. I'm getting excited. I can't wait to hear what you. I'm sorry. I'm looking forward.
There you go.
You
can wait.
To the next one. I saw the trailer. I immediately sent Rick the poster. I was like, Rick, please tell me you're going to talk about this next movie.
Of course.
And because I saw it and I was like, you know what's sad about this, Rick, is that this is right up my alley. I love dark fantasy.
Of course, but
I love, Batista's awesome. But like, I saw this trailer and I'm like, is this a movie? This looks like they should retitle this The Lost Green Screen. Because nothing looked real. No, maybe the director was going for that.
Maybe
he was looking for a surreal world.
No.
All I saw was green screen. The entire trailer.
This is Paul W.S. Anderson, who's married to Mila Jovovich. They've done other movies together. They've done a lot of other movies together. Why did you expect this to be any better than what else they've done? This is them going like, oh, you're giving us money for another movie?
It's called Hope.
It's kind of like, all right, it's kind of like that's another thing that we'll be talking about probably more later, that the reason these movies are made is that foreign countries still have a cinema to fill.
Right.
They still have movie theaters to fill in India and in Asia and all sorts of places. They have to fill them, so they want cheap little movies. So he keeps getting work.
Right.
Yeah. So this is clearly for our dear buddy Bautista. This is a check.
Right. Yeah.
He collects a check.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's no better, and in many ways it's worse than the Resident Evil stuff they've done in the past.
Right.
And so again, it's like, hold on, let me do my impersonation of watching this movie. Here we go. First I do this.
Okay.
And then I do the oops, let me get the thing on screen. Yeah. Then I do this. This is my remote control.
Was it a fist film at least? A fist
No,
film?
Of course not. They don't have time. They don't have time or money to do fist stuff.
Yeah.
The whole point of a movie like this, it has to be all weapons and walking. Also green screen and also digital and cheap digital.
Yeah.
They don't have time to do. I mean, at least Novocaine is smart and has some clever stuff in it, especially for you badasses.
Yeah.
And speaking of that,
right.
Let us go on to the next one.
Oh, we're already done. No shout out to your boy George R.R. Martin, Rick.
Oh, good point. Yeah, this is I love this too because go back to the poster. Do you have the poster still? Yeah, there it is. The author, and they put his name up there. George R.R. Martin, Game of Thrones. Guess what? It's based on a short story. That's all he did for this. They bought a short story and they did their horrible job on it.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't seen any quotes from Double R, who I worked with out in Hollywood back in the mid-'80s. Now, I haven't heard anything from him saying, because I bet he's doing a lot of this.
Well, all I know, DJ, is after I watched this trailer, I sent the poster to Rick. And after I got done watching it, I turned to Lady Phat. I'm like, we're watching this movie when it's free. I was like, we have to watch this.
I really want it. I want to see if you can get all the way through without fast forwarding.
Oh, I'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You've seen
we hopefully it's good, bad, but I don't know. We'll see. All right. Next up. Now this looked like a blast. The trailer looked like a blast.
This is one of the great 4F films. You remember what the 4F film is?
Go ahead.
Fast forward to the fights.
Right.
Fast forward to the fight film.
Yes.
That's the 4 Fs. Fast forward, fight, film.
Right.
And it is, and I think, and of course it was on Sky Cinema. It only came out into the theaters here because it was on streaming in England, in the UK, because Sky is their thing there. And it is everybody, let me see, do I have the, James Madigan, this is his 3rd movie. And he sort of said, it's written by an actor from Shazam. The Shazam movie, one of the actors who played one of the lower level Shazam, he wrote this.
Right.
And believe me, there's not a line of dialogue that you need to hear.
Right.
And Starbuck, the girl who plays Starbuck, she plays the head of the espionage organization, and she's great. Watch her all the time. I was very pleased to have met her at the San Diego Comic-Con and all sorts of other places. And
nice.
She does a wonderful job in this. You can I will allow you to listen to her dialogue because she does a great job.
Yeah.
Josh Hart, is that his name? Josh Hartnett?
Josh Hartnett, yeah.
Yeah. Throughout the movie, I like his acting too, because throughout the movie, he seems to be looking at the screen going, why am I in this? There are so many people who would have been better in this part than me.
Right.
So many people. But I guess they couldn't get them.
Right.
So I get it. I get to be James Bond.
Okay. Yeah.
But let me find the guys Brahim Chab, who did the choreography on Monkey Man, and Balaz Lengyel, who did Killer's Game. They basically, you could clear. James Madigan said, go crazy, guys. This movie will succeed on the basis of the fights, not on the basis of the dialogue.
Okay.
The fights are entertaining throughout.
Yes.
And they do something else that I really like, which is they build.
All right.
In other words, the best fight is not the first one.
Okay.
The best fight is the last one.
Nice.
And I'm going, you guys are listening to Jackie Chan. Come on, man.
And our boy's in the movie, Rick. Marco Zeror's in this movie.
As soon as I saw he was in there, I knew it was okay. I understand why they didn't make him the hero, because he looks like he's going to be the hero too easily.
Yeah.
Because he looks like he could win. Josh Hartnett, you kind of go, he uses his brain as well as other things.
Okay.
It's a fun movie, it's 1 hour and 37 minutes long. So again,
nice.
Just skip the first 20 minutes, except when you see Starbuck.
Okay. I also see Juju Chan Seto was in the film, and it was an honor to interview her on the channel way back.
Yeah,
he's in the movie too, so I got to watch this.
It is a fun movie. It's a smart action. It's one of the best of the month.
Hold on a second. Let me talk to Nigel here. He says, green screen, not always bad. I like Occupation and Occupation Rainfall. Well, I agree with you, Nigel. I actually interviewed the director of Occupation and Occupation Rainfall. Luke is awesome. I agree with you. But the green screen in those movies didn't make me want to shoot my eyes out. Tear my eyes out. Like in the Lost Lands do.
Hey, listen,
so there's
man,
levels to green screen.
Yeah, no one said they're not always bad. I mean, no one said they were always bad. You jumped the gun, buddy. You took a leap thinking that we said all green screen movies are bad. They're not.
Yeah. No.
Well, he is a self-proclaimed Batista fan, so that's probably why he took it a little personally.
No, don't see it for Batista. Don't defend the green screen.
Yeah, that's right.
Especially that kind of green screen.
I was affiliated with WWF too. I met Dave. And
Dave's great.
He's a sweetie.
Great. Yeah.
So
all
we
right.
could never denigrate him. But now said Fight or Flight, which also I knew we were in good shape because look at that title. That title is great. Fight or Flight. Because that's the old, when animals see each other, they have to make that split-second decision. Are they going to fight or are they going to run? Fight or flight, great. But that is not the best. It's not my favorite action. It's close.
Okay.
Because the next one is my favorite.
Okay. A Working Man.
Yes.
I forgot who said this. I was on a podcast. He said Jason Statham should not keep titling his movies. They should be called Jason Statham blank. In other words, Jason Statham 1. This is Jason Statham 9.
Jason Statham 9.
Secretary.
He has become clearly what Gerald Butler has become.
Right.
And these other great action stars who are incredibly dependable. Because if you go into a Jason Statham movie expecting to see something other than a Jason Statham movie, and I've seen some reviews of this that sort of went, well, why did you do that? I'm going, why did you expect anything? If you go in expecting a Jason Statham movie, you will be fine.
Right.
In fact, you will be great, because the thing I love about Jason Statham is he doesn't care who the director is. That's why he's teaming up with David Ayer, because Ayer and he will team together, and Ayer won't ask him to do something that Jason Statham would not do. In other words, could you fight a different way? No, I can't fight a different way. This is the way I fight.
Hey, it's pretty good.
And I love the way he fights, because him and Vincent Zhao do not change their style. You can tell while everybody else in the movie is using their fists in, Vincent Zhao movies, Vincent will never use his fists. He will always fight the way he would in real life. And so Statham. And now he's making these movies with Ayer, Beekeeper, this one, Beekeeper 2, in order to say what he wants to say about the a-holes that he's fighting. Last one were, the people who are stealing from old people. This one are human traffickers. This is Taken starring Jason Statham.
Yep.
Or Jason. Exactly. That's what it should have been called. Jason Statham's Taken.
Yep.
But as such, if you go in to see, and I did, to see Jason Statham's Taken, you will not be disappointed. And the more you know, like me, about how Jason Statham fights, the more you will enjoy it. Because again, that's another great thing about this movie. It builds. It builds and it builds and it builds. Yep. He did that in Beekeeper too. But at this one, it's very interesting because he's spending a lot of time, and I love this kind of stuff too. He's doing a lot of time, he's taking a lot of time tracking down the traffickers and going up the chain. And some people might get bored by that. I loved it because again, he's using his brain. He's going from step to step. And there's a point in the movie where things change. Where if you're going in there, and again, I like that kind of thing. Even in the horror movies, I think it was like Malignant, where it seems to be really slow, and then at a certain point it goes boom. Well, Working Man doesn't go boom, but it goes boom, 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 bam.
I did like that it also didn't follow certain tropes with his daughter and stuff. So I like that they didn't do that usual thing that they would usually do. I'm like, thank God.
Nice.
It's Jason Statham and David Ayer. And also, you saw who co-wrote the script, right? It was David Ayer and Sylvester Stallone.
What?
Sylvester Stallone originally bought the rights for the series of books, because this is based on a book, and he was going to do a mini-series. But then it fell out, and then it was sold. And then when he found out these guys were doing it, I don't really know whether he worked with Ayer or whether Ayer just took his script and did a number. That would make more sense. Although I know that Stallone's pretty busy with the second season of his mob show. So I don't think they worked together on this, but it just works so well because Stallone knows how to write an entertaining, satisfying film. And Ayer knows how to do it too. And now because the budget is so much less, that the studios are letting him do it. They're not making him ruin, like they ruined his Suicide Squad. They cut the shit out of his Suicide Squad.
Oh,
but now he's able to get final cut. So always a pleasure.
Now, some people messaged me if I seen it yet, and I said no. But they were not a lot of people, but there were a few people I know messaged me, and they said they were disappointed with A Working Man because they like the Beekeeper more. So this was my question, Anubis. I was getting ready to ask you this. So he liked it more, and Kevin says he felt that it was more grounded than Beekeeper.
Yeah,
So
again, what were these people expecting? In other words, I am grateful for having it. I'm not going to go, oh, Beekeeper was better. It
Right.
wasn't. I got news for
Well,
you.
I'm
It
fine
wasn't
with that.
much
It's just
better.
that
it's
you know,
different. It's different.
they are
Yeah,
different.
right?
This one, as Santa said, like this is a bit more of a slow burn. It kind of builds a little
Yeah.
bit more than Beekeeper.
I'm fine with that.
Kind of gets
Yeah.
right into it a little earlier than
Right,
this one.
right.
And I will also let you know that back in the 70s, before I got into what sent me to work in comic books and then magazines and nonfiction, film books, and then my action books, novels, is that I originally teamed up with an investigative reporter from the Village Voice when the Village Voice really was something, and he brought me as his apprentice to do all these investigations into the most horrible places. And one of those places was, at that time, it was called white slavery. So as I've told people, I may know more about white slavery than any white boy who's not actually involved in white slavery, or as it's called now, human trafficking. So I know about the subject, and they were good in this movie. Taken was a little, this movie is a little, but basically the world of human trafficking runs the gamut from, the slum to the mansion. So as you can tell, if you do research on certain things that happen in the world.
Right.
So again,
He's the housekeeper.
The housekeeper.
Do you know who I am? I'm the plumber.
And that would be great too.
And we would watch it.
Yeah, because he would take all the plumbing devices as his weapons rather than all the construction worker weapons. So yeah, he's using the construction worker weapons in this movie, and I'll see everything he does. Yeah, because he's a good guy. But let me see. Right. Guillermo, based on Stallone's story, Guillermo Crispo, who did The Acolyte. You can tell this is interesting.
I'm the valet driver.
Here we go. Jason Statham does his own choreography because the choreographer for Working Man was Guillermo Crispo, who worked on Acolyte, Argyle, Kingsman, Shang-Chi, Solo, and Wonder Woman. And all of those fights in those movies are inferior to this one.
All right.
Because Jason Statham goes, yeah, we'll put your name up, but you can do the other people fighting. I'll take care of my scenes.
Yeah.
Now, another huge surprise, a delightful surprise. It never should have gone into the theaters. I'm not happy that it did, but I want it to come back to TV as fast as possible. Go ahead.
The Day the Earth Blew Up.
A Looney Tunes movie. The first Looney Tunes movie in their entire history, which dates back to the 40s or 50s. Frank has already told me that this is going to be on his 10 best list.
Wow.
It is, I'm not happy with the poster. I'm not happy with the artwork. It's not reflective of, to my mind, the classic Looney Tune animation. However, the writing, which is done by the director, and it had a crew of they had a dozen writers on this, but they were all animation people. So they managed to put together a feature-length movie that works the way a 6-minute cartoon does. And I was very impressed. Very impressed. Frank was also very impressed. So I'm going to be seeing this at least twice more.
No bugs?
I'm not going to say.
Okay, don't spoil it.
Yeah, what's up, Doc?
But it's pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, wow, you and Frank loved it. It's got to be good.
Well, let's hope. Well, we can talk about it next month. If you guys see this and you say, I have a bone to pick with you, Rick.
Well, I remember Rick. Yeah. No, I remember when you and Frank really recommended Puss in Boots.
Right.
And the most recent one that came out a while back.
Mm-hmm. That was
and
great.
I barely even heard of it or saw, I didn't even see the first Puss in Boots movies or anything like that. And me and Lady Phat were blown away how good that movie was.
Yeah.
We were not expecting that at all. I was like, this was like one of the greatest animated villains I've seen in years. There was heart, there was action, there was everything. We were like, wow. We went out and bought it in 4K.
Good for
That's
you.
how much we liked the movie. So
it's
yeah,
worth it.
Yeah, good stuff.
Because sometimes you're smart ass. Sometimes you're smart ass.
He's sneaking in there.
Now we're out of the movie theaters until
Okay.
the very last second. So let us go on to Hi-Yah.
Boom. That's right. Click on the link in the description box below and check out the site. It's the best for Kung Fu, martial arts, and horror and all that good stuff. Check it out. You get for the free trial. Click on the link below.
And
All right. Next up, we have boom, a fist within four walls. We got a little battle royale going on here.
You guys are incredibly lucky because I was going, why are they putting this television series up? It's 28 episodes, 45 minutes each.
Oh, wow.
Turns out this is one of the most successful martial art kung fu mini. You see, when I first went to Hong Kong and was working with Ocean Shores Video, I always looked forward going back to my hotel room, which was right on the water in Hong Kong, on the Hong Kong island. So I could turn on the TV and watch these because the way their television works is they put together 30 to 50 episode miniseries, show them all, and then start another one. This one came out in 2016, almost 10 years ago. And the reason Hi-Yah chose it, Welco USO chose it, it's one of the most successful and awarded miniseries. And it is Kung Fu. It
All
is
right, let's
martial
go.
arts. There's a reason this poster is this way. Count how many fights do you see going on here? 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5. 5 fights on one poster. And the people up front, they won multiple awards for their acting.
All right.
This is the quintessential modern Kung Fu TV series. You owe it to yourself because I will challenge you. I bet some of you, because you don't like to be challenged, and I don't blame you. Start watching it, and then I dare you to stop.
Can I ask you a quick question, Rick? It has really nothing to do with that, but you're familiar with Raina of Lattingham from Cobra Kai?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think she has like a pretty good future in film and martial arts? Because she seems like really, really skilled, and she's been like 13 world champion and all that.
No, this is something I've been talking about a lot. It doesn't matter if you want to be a martial arts star, a kung fu actor. You have to do it yourself. The studios will not do it for you because the movie matters, not the brand of action in the movie.
Right.
You have to. In other words, you come to us. Tell her she should come to us. We will create a thing for her. Then we'll do it on our.
So she
iPhones.
basically would have to like seek out that particular genre.
There is no industry. There's no industry. You talk to Marco. You talk to all the guys. They're known, so they're able to be in. They're able to be in movies like John Wick. But again, who's the star of John Wick? Is it Donnie Yen? No, it's
Keanu. Yeah.
So again, your skills. This is the same thing. You have to, if you want to be a great star, you have to know not martial arts, but theatrical arts. You have to be a great actor.
Mm-hmm.
When you go in for the audition, they don't care what belt you have. And Jackie, usually when somebody comes in for a Jackie Chan movie, and they say, I'm the 5th degree this, I'm the 7th degree, but Jackie's usually doing this, oh no. Because he has to re-educate them. Because screen action is not real life action.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So no, if she wants to be successful, start, taking acting classes or teach yourself how to act. But yeah, don't think you're going to make it because you're skilled at a fighting art.
It helps. Yeah, you need the other two.
Yeah.
All right. Now the trailer
with 4 walls. Now,
go ahead. Go for it.
And so let me see. Yeah. Yeah, it's the movie's award winning. I mean, the TV show is award winning. I strongly recommend that you guys check it out. Now,
And we don't get this over here. I mean, that's what's awesome about Hi-Yah is we don't get
also,
series like this.
And they
the
pick
whole
and
show.
choose. You know, in China, these things are coming out every day, sometimes multiple times a day. But Hi-Yah is able to pick and choose. And they searched and searched and searched until they found the one that was the most award winning, most successful, and best fun one they had. And also, as you can see from that poster, lots and lots of action. So yeah, it's great. And again, 28 45-minute episodes. You'll be
Pretty
good.
meaty.
You'll be good for a while. And every episode, they're not going to do an episode where there's no fighting. Every episode has it.
Nice.
So yeah.
Well,
speaking of fighting, I saw the trailer for this.
Yes.
And I was like, this looks dope. Rick, was it dope?
It was dope. But I'm not sure how you define dope. In other words, it is a wuxia, wushu, kung fu. What other one am I missing? Am I missing anything? It's mostly wuxia.
Okay.
It's it's a classic Chinese Jin Yong convoluted wuxia story. But just like all the movies in China now, beautifully done. Costumes are glorious. Sets are glorious. Huge cast. And also really, and for your filmmaker friends who want to know how to make a good action movie, this is a great movie to watch to see how they do the fight scenes, to see where they put the camera at what time to communicate what they need. Because you compare this to Novocaine or even Fight or Flight, although Fight or Flight is closer. But something like Novocaine, you compare them. And the Westerns will put the camera in a different place and hold it for a certain length of time. They're trying to communicate something completely different than what these movies are trying to communicate. So well worthwhile, very handsome. Not my favorite. I mean, I still would rather go back and watch, Hunt the Wicked and Killer Beak, the Blind Man movies. What is it called again? I'm blanking.
Yeah, the Blind Swordsman.
Not Blind Swordsman. The one with Zhao Mu. The ones.
Blind Swordsman. Eye for an Eye.
Eye for an Eye. There we go.
Yeah.
Eye for an Eye too. I'd rather watch those again, but this still is worthwhile. It's a meaty watch one time.
We're having fun with OGP in the chat. Shout out to OGP. He's like, I hated a working man. We're having fun with him. I was like, you also hated the raid.
Did he?
I don't know if
somebody like definitely pissed in his Wheaties. I don't know what's going on there, but
I love you, brother. I love you, brother. But it was like, I was like, oh, you're breaking my heart. Sometimes he sends me these messages. He was like, yeah, the raid was boring, too much fighting. I was like, oh God. It's all right. It's all right. He's
very easy.
He's coming around. He's watching more Hong Kong movie stuff.
It doesn't matter if he wants to be right.
It's fine. It's
so
fine.
let me practice.
Wants.
Okay.
He's catching up. He's catching up on stuff.
You can always tell when okay. I'm not going to agree or disagree. I'm just going to go, okay. Or I'm going to say.
I had to poke back at him a little bit there.
I'm going to say Oppo, which is one person's opinion.
There you go. He's entitled to it, but I had to poke him back a little bit.
Now,
all right.
Because we just finished with that, I didn't realize that I have these out of order. So let's do Kung Fu Rookie next.
Okay. The trailer, this looked like a lot of fun. It was like a Jackie Chan homage movie.
That's exactly what it is. Look at the tagline for all the Jackie Chan wannabes out there. And it's like, or actually all the Jackie Chan wannabes out there. Yeah, this is very, my buddy Ara Paella brought me over to Scotland twice to be in two movies, one for Iran and one for him. And he did the same thing that these guys are doing, except he was more, Ara was more a follower of Sammo rather than Jackie. So he would recreate Sammo fight scenes in his films. Just look him up, Ara Paella. And then if you see the suppressor, you'll see me on the front cover.
Oh
and
yeah.
also,
I gotta find your clip again. It's hilarious. I'll put it in StreamYard next time. I can play it whenever I want.
Really, everybody out there in action film autopsy land, do you think would you cast me as a villain?
Yes.
He keeps casting me as a villain, and I should have actually I should have played it as myself as a villain, which is like, hey man, how you doing? What? Oh yeah, we're gonna kill you. No problem. Anyway, Kung Fu Rookie is a homage, and do you know where the film was made? Kazakhstan.
Where?
Kazakhstan.
Oh, all
It was
right.
made
wow.
in Kazakhstan.
Really? Huh.
Nice.
Yeah, the star there is Timur Batibayev. It is a clear copy. In fact, they recreate several Jackie Chan fight scenes. They do it on a low budget, the same as Ara. Yeah, look at all those names. Yeah, and again, they're trying to recreate it. And they during the end credits, guess what they have?
Bloopers.
Outtakes. Yeah.
Nice.
So it's on Prime Video now. You can watch it.
Oh, all right.
Fun. It's
Hell
fun.
yeah.
And it's sweet because, it's clear. And also it's rare because most people copy Bruce Lee because it's incredibly easy to copy Bruce Lee. Not a lot of people copy Jackie because it's not easy to copy Jackie because he's inventive and smart throughout.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah,
thanks for telling us. It's on Prime. I'll have to check that out for sure. Anubis, we got to check it out.
Now we can go to either
I'm Batman.
Did you see Batman Ninja?
I did not.
Ah.
I don't remember it. I remember the animation was really good.
It was really good.
But
and of course, I'm the author of the Ninja Master novels.
Right.
And so when I saw they did Ninja Batman, and also I saw that the Japanese were doing it, the Japanese were directing it, the Japanese anime guys were doing it, I said, I got to see this. And so Batman Ninja came out, I think, a couple of years ago. Maybe
it was way back.
I think it was 2019 or something.
I may have been further, but yeah.
The only problem I have with this movie is that it is a sequel, direct sequel.
Oh.
To the original Batman Ninja. But as
artwork is killer. I love the artwork.
Exactly. The artwork is excellent. It's anime. The concepts in it are great. It moves really well. I wish they had it with the Japanese language
subtitle.
Yeah, because even though because it's a Batman story, it doesn't really matter that they're being dubbed. But the Japanese language is always so beautiful, and I think it adds another dimension to it. But it's well worthwhile. And I did not have the time to find out whether Batman Ninja is still available on Prime. I would imagine it is. So maybe while I'll look it up because we want to go on to. But yeah, again, recommend it.
Nice. Well, I'm sold here. Batman's in a mech suit.
Oh, it's
let's go.
It's a wild. Okay.
All right.
Let me type in Batman Ninja.
And now you got me curious too. When did that come out?
2018.
Oh, okay. So
that long ago.
Man,
let me see if they say
feels older for some reason.
They're saying it's on YouTube. They're saying the first one's on YouTube.
Okay.
But it costs money on YouTube. There's no at this point. There's no place it's free. Amazon Prime still wants you to rent it from $3.99. Well, anyway, we'll check it out. We saw it originally, but in lieu of that, it's still free on Amazon Prime. That is, if you have Amazon Prime. Okay. So there you go. But now, the biggie. The biggie you went for an Amazon Prime this month?
Yeah.
Show it.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby. Look at that pectoral.
He's got a new vein. He's got an extra new vein in his tricep in the back.
That's right. Look at that. Look at those veins.
So good.
Well, they had the last episode of this season last night. And I was still a little wise ass smart ass.
Okay.
But by the end of it, I could not deny it.
Yeah.
You know,
Good
again,
stuff.
they were setting up this confrontation between him and the guy who's bigger than him
It's nuts
for
how
the
huge
whole
that guy
thing.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
the
yeah.
whole thing. And so when the time came, they did not disappoint.
No.
But I'm being Mr. Snot Boy.
Uh-huh.
I'm in my room,
Yeah, yeah.
lights out, right in front of the thing, sort of going, "Come on, be smart, be smart, be
Yeah, yeah.
smart." And I'm going, and my other, yeah, really, there you go.
Yeah.
The other me turned on me. My schizophrenic self turned on me and said, "Shut up."
That was me. That was me.
You coming into the house
Yes.
on my shoulders and
Yes.
shh, just enjoy it. And sure enough, it built. Yeah, of course. And then today I read an interview with the guy who played the adversary, and he said, "Yeah, there are moments in this fight which are ridiculous, but you
Right.
accept it because it's these two guys."
It's one of the best hoss fights we had.
Yeah,
Just
because
big meaty men slapping meat.
And of course, yeah, and at the same time, there are moments, but for the most part, when he finally does it, he does use his brain and he does use his military training. He was trained as a military man.
Yeah.
So I don't want to ruin, if anybody hasn't
Right.
seen it, and I don't think it can be ruined. It's the whole series. Some people felt other episodes were slow. I didn't care. I mean, I watch every episode of Reacher the way I watch every episode of White Lotus. I'm just like, I'm mesmerized. I do not want to miss a nanosecond.
Yeah.
And
as soon as they started, Rick,
yeah,
I was like, please let them throw each other through walls. Please. And I got what I wanted.
Yeah.
Close enough.
I'm because when push came to shove, every single time it looked like Reacher was done for.
Yeah.
He did do something smart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I went, okay. Yeah. Are you okay, Rick? Shut up, Rick. Just watch it and enjoy it. And the whole show was terrific. I thought, and what's great is that it's based on a novel. They're very reputable to the novel. And so the structure of the stuff, it is something that many things aren't now, which are satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing is satisfying.
Yes.
And when it ends, it's like,
yeah,
I saw something great.
I'm already psyched for season 4.
Of course. And I'm psyched. I'm psyched for Beekeeper 2. And
are you psyched for Beekeeper 2, Rick?
Of course I am.
Are you? Because you know who's directing it.
Who?
It's Timo is directing it, not David Ayer.
But then again,
I know how you feel about The Night Comes for Us. So I don't know if you're excited.
I love The Night Comes for Us.
What are you talking about? I love The Night Comes.
You didn't like? I thought you didn't like it.
No, I love that. I didn't like everything that followed it.
Oh, okay. Sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
You go back and you check. This is a quote from me.
Yeah.
Which is, once they did A Night Comes for Us, there was no place for them to go from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it was so good.
They hit of course. How dare you, sir?
I don't know, man. They hit the pinnacle right away.
I challenge you to a duel.
Chat, you're going to have to go back.
I challenge you to a duel.
Samurai's going to go back and find that clip.
I love that. I didn't love everything afterwards because there was no place for them to go. The fact that Timo's doing it, awesome.
Yeah, Timo.
I'm stunned.
Jason Statham is going to be nuts.
Oh, it's going to be. Let's hope it is. But be that as it may. But I'm waiting for a report. I'm waiting for a report from the set with Jason Statham going, I'm not going to do that. That's not what I do. Anyway.
All right.
Here we go to Netflix.
Okay. Netflix time.
Netflix. Did you put up the first?
OGP enjoyed Reacher. I'm just putting him on there.
Yeah, absolutely right, man. Absolutely right.
His anger for the working man has gone. He's good now.
If I had control, I'd ban him right now.
Are you guys done?
Yes, we're done. Go for it.
Netflix.
Netflix.
Netflix it's the quintessential Netflix this month. But then again, I realize now that they've gotten to a place in their ascension to the throne that they're going to be quintessential every single month. And so now I don't listen to anybody about Netflix because Netflix is not one thing. They are at least 4 things a month, if not a week, if not a day. So here's the 4 that we have from Netflix this month. First, we have a French film called Squad 36. And given that it's Netflix France, and you see all the guys making faces, it is 124 minutes. You see the way that guy is looking in the middle there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way you'll be looking at the end of the movie. And you'll take a gun and you'll threaten to shoot your balls off the way he is doing, because it's the classic Netflix too long.
Oh no.
But it's 124 minutes. But it's French. And remember, I used to love their French. The first couple of French stuff they put up was The Lost Bullet 1 and 2.
Dude,
that still is.
Where's
still
Lost
the
Bullet
best
3
ever.
for fuck's sake?
Yeah, well, he's done other movies, none of which are even close to that.
Yeah.
And also Netflix, again, what they do is hire filmmakers and let the filmmakers do what they want. And this filmmaker wanted to do 124 minutes. And unfortunately, it doesn't help him at all. But then again, the next one is a Mexican film, Counterattack. This film, again, look at those faces. They're challenging you. This movie, it's a Mexican movie. It's 84 minutes.
All right.
They're going to go bam, 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 literally bam, bam. I mean, the title is what it is. It's they get caught in an attack. They have to do something to survive. And again, I've always said with you, Phat, that you can tell from the poster.
Right.
You can feel look at each of those faces. You can probably guess what they're thinking.
About fuck some shit up.
Well, yeah, one of them is worried. One of them is trying to make it. One of them is trying to figure out how to get. The other one is sort of like going, "I'm going to show you who I am," and the other one's going, "Shit, oh shit." And the movie works. It keeps moving. It keeps moving, and it's Mexican. And again, you read through, and I believe I saw it subtitled, which I like even better because again, the language, especially the French language, the Mexican language. I believe the Squad 36 is also available in French. So again, you can get the feelings. Although unfortunately, since Lost Bullet 1 and 2, the French action films they've been putting on Netflix have becoming less and less. They're more and more movies, but they're not as good. Mm-hmm. They're trying to. Again, they're trying to do the slasher film concept is we don't want to live up to the great. We want to be able to do movies that are mediocre. So we're going to set the bar there, which is unfortunate for the French. Now, so the next 2, I've heard so many criticisms about, not this one, the next one.
Right.
So many criticisms.
Boom.
And the criticisms, yes, the Electric State, Russo brothers film. But I saw the last couple of things. The Russo brothers did The Citadel for Amazon Prime, and that was not good. This is not good, but this is also not great.
Okay, it's mid.
What this I believe, is the quintessential second screen Netflix experience. I don't advise you to watch this in a darkened room, right up against the screen. I recommend that you watch this lying on your bed or on your recliner or on your couch and going through your emails. And as such, it's long too, but it is it's also, I think it was what, 200 or 300 million dollars
Yes, yeah.
cost that.
Ridiculous.
But you can see it. You can
Okay.
see where the money went. It truly is. It should have a big thing in the back saying the ultimate eye candy. It's eye candy. It is far from brain candy.
I think I'm over Millie Bobby Brown at this point.
I got news for you. So is she. She's having a rough time. But anyway, that's Electrics, and the action is done by Mark R. Missione, who also did the action in Captain America: Brave New World. So that's the kind of action you're going to get. It's by the Russo brothers. I don't know if they're directing the new Avengers Doomsday or not, but
I think they are.
Well, let's hope that they bring them back up to the way they used to be, because Citadel and this aren't brain candy.
Right.
And at no point in this movie did I want to laugh, cry, and cheer. I wanted to, which is I did with the Avengers movies. Here I just sort of went, huh. If you watch it like a second screen thing, it's pretty. It's pretty.
Jingle the keys. Jingle the keys.
Yeah, it's all cartoons. It's all these robots and shit. So and Chris Pratt, you don't expect Chris Pratt to be doing Jason Statham stuff. So if you can just literally or figuratively leave your brain by the door, you'll be fine. You engage your brain at all, you will not have a good time. However,
now
all these people
who
are talking about the Electric State, this is Netflix, this is quintessential Netflix. No, it's not.
Okay.
What Netflix is the Electric State, and put the poster up, The Residents. For as dumb as the Electric State was, if you want, you cannot make this. You cannot. I defy you to make this a second screen experience. This, to my mind, is one of the great first screen experiences I've had on Netflix. This is a love letter to classic detective stories. This is Sherlock Holmes. This is Ellery Queen. This is Nero Wolfe. They name check Benoit Blanc at the beginning in the first episode. And by the way, how many episodes is this thing? I'm trying to remember how many episodes. It's like 8 hour, at least the last episode, which I think is either the 8th or the 9th episode, is 90 minutes long. It's a movie unto itself.
Yeah.
And it's I mean, I'm a mystery writer of America. I've written one of my favorite novels is a Playfair murder mystery set in the world of Dungeons and Dragons called Murder in Haurua. I highly recommend you pick it up. It's based on the style of the Ellery Queen novels. And every single episode is named for a different classic mystery book. And so it's like, you love mysteries. Come on, baby.
All right.
There's nothing in this series that is not important. Important, as Bruce Lee would say. If you want to follow it, you have to follow it.
Put your phone down.
Yeah, I said, I was sort of like going, there's no way I'm going to get through all this. But I was riveted from moment one. I'm just, me, I watched the first episode and the last episode if it doesn't engage me. This was totally engaging. And the actor in this, who I think was from, her in the middle, she was one of the stars of Orange is the New Black. And I
thought she looked familiar, yeah.
She is, and also you look at all the faces behind her. The cast is great. It's all over the place. Everybody is a different character. It's a murder in the White House. And it's just, but again, those two things.
Yeah. Thanks again, Bo.
Hey, Bo, it's not an unpopular
thanks again, Bo, for the super chat.
Yeah. Bo, it's not an unpopular opinion.
Yeah, there's some people message me. They like the movie.
Look at America right now. It's half and half. Any movie comes out, and look at how much Brave New World made half $500 million. So it's 500 million.
Right.
So it's fine.
OGP says Brave New World was better than A Working Man.
Well, maybe yes. Maybe
now you're gonna just feed him. He's gonna
there's
say
going to
it.
be there's going to be racism about Brave New World because unfortunately, as everyone says, including Harrison Ford in the movie itself, you're not Steve Rogers. He's not Steve Rogers. He'll never be Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
If you can let that go, you can enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
The other issue, of course, is that they felt the need to reveal Agent Orange in the film because they should have kept that secret. But they're again behind between a rock and a hard place. So no, don't listen to all the haters because I can guarantee you, for every hater, there's a lover.
Yeah, there's
it's
fans.
Just, that's the way the way America and the world is now.
But
so all that matters is your opinion.
That's
right.
Else's. That's right. OGP, keep hating A Working Man. That's right.
Yep.
Feel free. And also I get to do what I always do. I get to do what I always do, which is great. More for me. More
Copy
for
that.
me.
Copy that. Well, back to this really quick before we move on. I'll have to recommend this to Lady Phat because she loves detective stories and stuff.
Oh my God.
She's a big, huge Sherlock Holmes.
Is that just is it just like a detective story or is it kind of comical? Because like I like the Knives Out movies.
Look at the actors. There are all these amazing comic actors. There's guys from all over the place here. I mean, and Randall Park's back in it too.
Is that Giancarlo right there?
Yeah, Giancarlo. But
he's in everything, man.
Yeah, but it wasn't supposed to be him.
Oh,
it was supposed to be Andre Braugher.
Right.
But he died during production.
Oh wow!
From Brooklyn Nine-Nine. They have a little wink and a nod about that.
Yeah,
they do a Brooklyn Nine-Nine thing.
Okay, that's cool.
During the show as well.
Nice.
Yeah, everybody. It's very funny. It's very smart. It's very engaging. And I tell you, the denouement, there's a moment I cannot forget. I won't reveal it to anybody, but once Lady Phat sees it, see if she comes up with the same one. There's something in the last episode that I'll never forget.
I'm revving up. I'm revving up for the next one.
Thinking about it now, I sort of like going, oh, that is so
I'm
great.
revving up for the next one.
Go ahead, baby.
Rick.
Yep.
I know.
Yes.
That you hated the Daredevil Netflix show.
I didn't hate it.
You were not a fan.
I didn't like it.
So I am assuming.
Good assumption.
You probably still hate this.
I don't hate it.
Okay.
I'm not.
But let's get to the Daredevil Born Again, Disney Plus show. Go ahead and talk about what you liked and what you didn't like about it.
Here's the deal. It's basically the same situation as the original thing, the original show.
Okay.
And that's because a lot of the original people back on it. I admire it. I appreciate it. I did not, and I do not enjoy it.
He's having a heart attack. But yeah, go ahead.
He's struggling today.
See,
I
grew up with Daredevil.
Right.
I bought the first issue of Daredevil when it came out. I had the entire run until my mom threw them away when I went to college. So I loved Daredevil, and I saw his several iterations, but I liked his second iteration.
Okay.
The Daredevil they're showing is the later Daredevil. I liked it when Daredevil was not tortured. Watching him being tortured, and they're really laying that on, I have to go, that's not my Daredevil.
Right.
My Daredevil was joyous. My Daredevil was a blind man who could see. My Daredevil was the man who was free because he got the rest of his senses.
Was your Daredevil Ben Affleck?
No. My Daredevil has not been in the films yet. Go back and look at the first 100 issues of Daredevil and watch how my Daredevil was a very fit, very smart, very happy Zatoichi.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the same message too. In other words, he was a blind man who could see, dealing with seeing people who were blind. And that's what made it work. Here, it's just, let's ladle on the agony. The endless amounts of agony. So again, I admire the way they do their agony very well.
Right. Right, right.
But this is a nasty. I'd rather escape to Shondaland and the residents
Mhm.
than wallow in the misery of Daredevil, especially since I'm looking at him going, you're not the guy I remember. Why don't you go back? I mean, I do love the parts that I love. Like, I love him when he's in the bank and he's being smart.
That was a great
using his
episode.
skills.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when they do that kind of stuff. But when he starts sobbing and crying and misery and everything sucks and I hate myself,
Yeah.
it's like, I don't need that now. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll still watch it
Right.
and admire it, but no, thank you.
All right. Now I have to give my thoughts. So I loved it.
and well, you should. It's a good show.
What's really sad though is
Yeah.
that the first 2 episodes, just to show the state of Disney Plus and how they burned everyone. They burned Star Wars fans, they burned Marvel, they burned everyone.
We're getting into that next.
Here's a good example of why everything's burned. Audiences are burned. The first 2 episodes of Daredevil, when they dropped, those 2 episodes of Daredevil got less views than the first episode of Agatha. It's over. It's over. That's so sad. Now here's the thing.
Yeah,
here's the thing. The show so far is a lot of character development, a lot of story, very little on the action.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see that being boring to some people. I was not bored. But you got to remember, when the Netflix series dropped, the whole show was available. So you can have these character development episodes because people just went right straight to the next episode. When you start dropping each episode and there's just character development, next episode, character development, very little action, I could see why people are bored. That's why I'm so happy that last week or this week they dropped 2 episodes at the same time.
Right.
So I was like, thank God to get the audience back. I love the dynamic between Matt Murdock and Kingpin. I love how the show parallels their struggle and how, I don't want to spoil anything, but Matt's dealing with not being Daredevil anymore. Kingpin's dealing with this new role as the mayor, and he's not breaking necks easily and whenever he wants to. I love the tension between them, and I love the last episode where it climaxes with both characters at the same time. I was cheering, man. I'm loving the show so far. But there was parts of the show where I was like, what the fuck are we doing? There was one episode where we just took way too much time on concentrating on this one guy in jail. Not the court sequence, not with White Tiger, but there's this other random character, and we're spending way too much time. I'm like, what are we doing? Now you're losing me, but thank God Frank Castle showed up at the end. And anytime Frank Castle and Charlie Cox are in a scene together, just give them the Oscars. Just give them the Oscars. Give them the Oscars.
Emmys. Let's do Emmys.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
They're just so good
awards.
together. And the first episode, I couldn't believe it. My jaw dropped. And the fight between him and Bullseye was amazing. It's one of the best fights. And Anubis, you're going to love this. This is the first time that I know of in the MCU that I know this character is in the comics, but this is the first time in the MCU where we get introduced to a serial killer villain. I think that is fucking dope. This is like horror movie level villain here. And I was just like, dude, this is new. So I'm loving the show. Hopefully they stick the landing. And, before we go into season 2, I know, Rick, before this show came out, the original writers, before they got fired because it was so putrid, I think they filmed like 5 or 6 episodes that were so bad. Mm-hmm. They ended up firing the writers. And there's interviews you can find now with Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox going, what when they were on set filming those 5 to 6 episodes, they were like, what is this? Well, so maybe, hopefully, Rick will get his Daredevil in the future. But right now, I'm enjoying the show.
Well, yes. Last night's episodes were very helpful. This week's episodes
thank
were very
God.
Helpful. But this is why I saved Snow White for last.
Oh, here we go, baby. I think that everyone's here for Snow White more than anything else on this.
Well, that's OGP's favorite movie of the year.
Well, OGP likes Snow White more than The Working Man.
But here's the deal. This whole thing, speaking of mysteries.
Okay.
This whole thing
what happened, Rick?
What happened, not just Snow White, But what happened to Disney? As you said, they've been burning everybody.
Yeah.
And if you know how things are produced in Hollywood, it explains certain. This movie was greenlit not by Bob Iger, but by Bob Chapek, the saboteur, the double agent, the one who took over Disney with the apparent desire to sabotage Disney. And he could hardly have done a better job. And if you look at all the ones, I mean, as you went through every single category that Disney, Pixar movies, Disney movies, Marvel movies, Star Wars movies, all of them hit this gigantic bump, causing the people who were there now to try to take them all apart and put them back together, because they're behind the 8 ball in that I think the best decision they could have made was to shelve Snow White, to not because Snow White is the crown jewel of Chapek's tenure. This movie was not just bad, not just stupid, not just condescending. This was insulting to everyone who's ever loved Disney. This Snow White, as you may know, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, was the first full-length animated movie that Walt Disney received an Oscar and 7 little Oscars for back in 1937. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was the first movie I ever saw at the age of 4.
Oh, wow.
On its 20th anniversary reissue.
Okay.
My then parents, whoever they were at that time, brought me to see that. And so, of course, I have a place in my heart for Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, as Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs have a place in many people's hearts.
It's the first animated movie, right?
First full-length animated movie.
Yeah.
So, and again, winner of 8 different Oscars at the same time. So here's this movie, and it is literally insulting. It's literally saying, all you fans of Disney, we are going to fuck you over so bad. You see, the complaints I've heard is that, of course, it's going to fail because it's a woke movie. It's not a matter of it being a woke movie. It's a matter of being a stupid woke movie. It's a matter of it being a terrible movie. And it being, in quotes, woke is only part of the sabotage involved here. Right. And then all the decisions that were made to try to, in quotes, save it were equally stupid. It's, originally it was going to be Snow White and the 7 Thieves, but right. Then, they said that was stupid. So they said, we're not going to get rid of the thieves. We're going to bring in the dwarves. And how are they going to bring in the dwarves? What would you do if you had to bring in the dwarves? There's really only one thing you can do. For it's a live action. If you're going to animate it, okay, that's one thing. But if you're going to do a live action,
right,
do it fucking live action.
Yes. What is this? Uncanny Valley territory we got going
Frighteningly on. Uncanny Valley. Stupid Uncanny Valley. Awful Uncanny Valley. This is more insulting. This is more insulting to dwarves than anything could have been. Because they're so bland, they're so unnecessary. Look, again, the posters. You know what I'm talking about. Is there any personality in any of those faces? Is there any life in any of those faces?
We can see into your soul.
These are plastic dolls. And again, the movie is a mess. I was thinking about it today of how I would have done it if I was in charge of doing the script. I could have made it smart woke, and nobody would have said it was woke at that point because you wouldn't notice that it was woke. It just, the whole idea of of the magic mirror, who's the fairest of them all.
Yeah.
Why Peter Dinklage?
Well, when this image went out, everybody thought these were the dwarves.
Right.
And people were clowning on it. But Disney didn't deny that they weren't. Disney didn't come out and say, no, they're not the dwarves, they're bandits. They didn't deny it. So that's a theory. Again, that's because this went out, people freaked out, and then they brought in the CGI. That's just a theory. But when this came out, I mean, when it was announced,
both are equally bad.
Yeah.
That's hey, Rick, did you like the Beauty and the Beast live action?
It was okay. I mean, I'm trying to remember there was one live action one that I liked, but I can't remember what it is now. Yeah. But even so, there's
Lady Phat hated it. But
which one?
she's in the minority.
I thought Beauty and the Beast was good. It had its little bit of woke, as you mentioned, but it wasn't like drowning it out. So like I thought that was actually pretty good for what they were doing. But that was like 2017.
But really, to go back to when this came, when the movie was announced, Rick, Peter Dinklage said,
I know this part.
Haven't we got past this?
But it wasn't dwarves. But again, I didn't understand his comment because it wasn't his fault at all. There was another quote.
It didn't help, but yeah.
No, it didn't hurt because he was right. He was right. He was basically, his whole attitude was, don't put in thieves, put in dwarves. Have dwarf actors. There was one dwarf actor.
Well, no, he was saying that haven't we gotten past little people playing these kind of characters? That's why he got flack for what he said.
Yeah, but you can't do that because if you were to do a remake of Time Bandits, you're not going to use full-grown people for that.
Well, no, they did. They did do that. Taika Waititi did a new Time Bandits, and they used.
Did he really?
Yeah, but those weren't supposed to be little people. But the point here is that Peter Dinklage could have been misquoted, and of course, as usual,
it's possible.
There's all sorts of rage that goes on. But there was another quote that they don't go back to because they can't make it controversial from a dwarf actor who said, "I was born to be in this."
Right. Yeah.
So the point is, Peter Dinklage saying that, and I'm sure misinterpreted because he's done a lot of different things, which is 7 parts for 7 real dwarves.
Yeah.
Of course you should do that.
Yeah.
Who cares what he says?
Right.
Do the right thing.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the big thing about, who is the fairest of them all? What constitutes fair?
I heard about this. It's so bad.
It's awful.
It's so bad.
She's the fairest of them all. She should be fairest because she's a great person, not because she's pretty. And the way they could have used the evil witch at that point to point up another thing, what I would have done at the end is that, because in the movie, in addition, there's so much wrong with this movie, it boggles the mind. The old crone, the evil witch, comes up with the poison apple, and Snow White eats it. She eats it, and I'm going, please do what I think you're doing. But I knew that was going to happen because the rest of the movie is so stupid. There's no way they were suddenly going to get smart.
Right.
Which is that the evil witch, the witch goes back and she's queen, and everything's great. And guess what? Snow White faked it.
Oh, Jesus.
My God. She pretended she bit the apple.
Of course.
And then keeled over. But then I would have loved it because the prince was, again, it should have been a prince. Again, having one of the thieves do it. The 4 of the thieves didn't even talk during the movie. They're not even named. Such a mess.
We have a little person in as one of the bad, not as one of the dwarves.
But it's awful. But anyway, when the prince comes over to kiss her, when he gets close, her eyes open.
Of course.
And I personally would have gone like this. I personally would have gone, not without permission.
That would have been funny in a way. Yeah, that would have been kind of funny.
And then she would have gone, let's go. And that's when they would go in and they would attack. They would invade the castle, and then Snow White and the what's her name? The evil queen would fight. Would have an awesome fight.
Opinion of Gal.
Yeah, she's getting crucified in this film.
Deservedly. But having seen her work in other movies,
Right.
I think she did it on purpose.
Really?
I honestly think she said, I'm going to let the audience know what I think of this movie. And I'm going to say every line in the most awful way I can.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know why everyone's just now noticing that she's not like this amazing Oscar caliber actress.
She's very one-dimensional.
I've always known this. Like, and the thing is like, I enjoy her in the first Wonder Woman movie. I really like the Wonder Woman movie.
Exactly.
Her. But the thing is they were smart. They didn't give her a lot of dialogue. She played a fish out of water character. And they gave everyone else an accent similar to hers. So that she will not feel, I'm telling the truth, Rick. Come on.
No, you're telling me the way you feel. But my attitude is I've seen all her movies.
Okay.
She's not a terrible actress. She's not great, but she's not terrible. And the thing that I watched it and I was saying, why is she so bad in this?
Yeah.
And I went, she's doing it on effing purpose. Because she knows she's attached to the Titanic here.
So she's just like, fuck it.
Fuck it. Yeah. I'm going to act the way this movie deserves me to act. Because now let's talk about the star. Let me tell you something.
Okay.
Do we have a picture of the star? We have that picture of her crawling, but that's not a good, although it's greasy hair. It would be wonderful if we had a picture of her in her Snow White outfit with her Snow White hair.
I'll find it.
Or at least the hairpiece. Mm-hmm. When you go to see Star Trek, The Final Frontier, or if you go to see Diamonds Are Forever with Sean, the last James Bond, well, not the last, the last official James Bond with Sean Connery, you'll notice something about their wigs and their costumes. They're all ill-fitting. They make them look bad. They literally make them look fat and bad. And my experience, having been on movie sets and having reported on movie sets and having talked, and also championing all these wonderful makeup and costume people. I was the one who, was getting Rick Baker and Dick Smith, articles in Starlog magazine and in my books and shit. And so I knew, there we go. Her costume looks like it was bought at a Halloween store. Her page boy is awful. It makes her face look misshapen. And her cheeks, there are shots of her in full regalia that make her look bad. And when that sort of thing happens, it usually means, I was told this by makeup people in Hollywood, it usually means that the crew hated her or hated him. In the case of Sean Connery, no, Sean Connery did it to himself. He insisted they do it because he was trying to break his identification with the James Bond character. Okay. But the crew hated Shatner on Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. And they made sure that when you saw that movie, you saw their disdain for him. Just look at the jackets. If the jackets are too short, and sort of stop in the middle of his ass, and if they always give him bulky turtlenecks that are half-sized turtlenecks so to push up his chins.
Right.
This movie was just like, everybody basically, the way I felt about this movie is everybody was held hostage by it. And they're just going, we got to get out. And again, they should have released it. There had to be a financial reason that they had to release this, because this hurts them more than helps them.
Do you think they would have just went straight to Disney Plus only?
That would be great, but there had to be something in the contracts that kept them from doing that, because this really hurts them. And this also explains the Avengers Doomsday trailer. Also, it explains the Brave New World trailer. It showed why they revealed that Red Hulk is in it. It shows why they revealed everybody who's in Avengers Doomsday. They got to get the taste of Snow White out of their fans' brains.
Right.
And so we'll see.
Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Aquaman 2 thing, where they were just rushing to get it out and just get it out of the way.
Yeah. There's other movies that I've seen that I've talked about that were obvious, and let's just get rid of it.
Right.
Well, I'm trying to remember the one that I was sort of like saying, just finish, just get this done.
In this.
Oh, the last Star Wars released movie.
Oh, Rise of Skywalker.
It was clear that the order to Abrams was just get it done.
In this.
Just get it out. That explains that one. But hopefully we'll see next week. We'll see how Daredevil ends, because if this week's was promising, and I believe they dropped those 2 episodes because they knew they were back on track.
Mm-hmm.
So let's hope it still happens, and let's hope Thunderbolts. Let's hope Fantastic Four. As I alluded to, of course, what's the premiere date for Fantastic Four? The same day of this year's Kung Fu Extravaganza at the San Diego Comic-Con. That's okay. We'll go see it in the after. We'll do what we did with last year's with Deadpool.
Hey, it was packed house last year, and that was Deadpool Wolverine release.
Yeah, because they were showing, and they were having the fireworks outside too that we didn't get to see. Yeah. But we'll go see Fantastic Four during the afternoon, and then we'll do the show. Yeah. And the show this year is going to be as usual, because we got some amazing stuff this year. Great action scenes.
Oh yeah.
And Frank is going to be doing all the stuff he's releasing. I mean, the beast. So anyway, have I talked long enough now?
I think we are all caught up. It's time for Rick's recap.
Like you need my recap. Okay, go ahead.
All right, just for funsies, for those of you who just arrived.
You too, DJ. You put up your thumb too.
Yeah.
Or put your thumb wherever it needs to be.
All right.
This side.
Here we
put
go.
It here to start with.
Oh, I haven't seen half of them, so
it's all good. It's all good.
The ones you have seen.
Mickey 17 in the middle. Okay. All right.
It's ruined by one thing.
Get this guy some Pepto-Bismol.
No, don't make him do a caricature.
Next up,
play the part.
Black Bag.
Bam, 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 bam.
All right. Novocaine. All right. Okay. Green Screen the movie.
Boom, 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 boom,
boom. Fight or Flight. All right. OGP's favorite film of the year. And Looney Tunes. Fist Within Four Walls, the series.
Oh, wait a minute. How many episodes? 28? Bam, 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 bam. This one, the other one, this one's good.
All right.
Not great.
And Big Meaty Men Slapping Meat.
Bam, 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 bam.
Hey, I can chime in on this one. All right.
Season 4.
All right. And Jackie Chan. All right.
Sweet.
Nice.
Sweet.
Speaking of
Batman Ninja. Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. Squad 36.
Too long. Let's do it in the middle. Yeah.
Okay.
Like theory, in the middle.
Counterattack. All right. Okay. Jingle in the Keys, the movie. Okay. All right. The Residents. All right.
Oh, there are 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
All right. Daredevil, Born Again.
Me angry.
All right. And everyone's favorite movie of the year, Snow White.
That's great.
That's awesome.
But that truly is.
Yeah.
You know, it ruined my childhood. You ruined my childhood.
You guys know how I am. I probably would end up enjoying Mortal Kombat Annihilation a lot more than Snow White anyway. All right. We are.
I'm really looking forward to I'm looking forward to the new Mortal Kombat.
Fingers crossed, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Fingers crossed. I hope it's good. All right. We're getting ready to wrap it up. But if you guys are fans of movies, which is why you're here watching the show right now, and you want some movie memorabilia, autographs, photos of Jet Li, Jackie Chan, all that good stuff, y'all know what you need to do, baby.
You want a piece of me?
You want a piece of me?
You want a piece of me?
Oh, you want a piece of me?
You want a piece of me?
You want a piece of me?
You got it! Get a piece of Rick.
Yeah, baby.
Click on the links below.
DJ Anubis has a
Straight
piece
to
of
the
Rick.
store. What's up?
I do actually.
DJ has a piece of Rick.
Ooh,
Yeah,
what'd you
he
get?
sent me that Tiffany Taylor photo.
I sent him a different one
Nice.
because I think the one
Yeah,
that's
different
up on
one,
that's
yeah.
different.
Nice.
That's already gone. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, by the way, Phat, you let me know if there's anything you want a piece of me, Phat?
I'm gonna
You
check
get
it
a
out.
piece of me?
You know me.
You just
So,
tell
I
me.
like what I saw already,
Yeah,
so
you tell me what you
definitely
want.
check it out. All right, guys.
I will
Thanks
say
again.
this real quick.
What?
Just real quick. I do
Yeah.
have next week, continue my Lone Wolf with Dub series. I'm going to be reviewing Rumble in the Bronx.
All
just for
right.
Rick.
That's some
All right.
fun shit right there. And
I should be on that
I
show.
I know.
Hey, if you want to be on it,
Hey.
man, I'm planning on doing it Monday, but I can switch for you.
No, on Monday. What's Monday?
When is that day again, DJ? For the audience watching?
What time?
It can be anytime you want if you want to be on it.
Well, yeah. Well, what time are you planning on doing it?
Let me see.
We can talk amongst ourselves, but I definitely should be on it. I have a unique sweatshirt, only one in the world, that was given to me by Jackie Chan.
So that's coming to me too.
That says Rumble. No, I am not giving that up, but I will wear it for the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
we'll talk.
So there you go. Keep an eye out for that, guys. Rumble in the Bronx on Anubis' channel. All the links to follow all of these amazing gents are in the description box below. Hey, if you had fun here, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the Old Samurai Guy. And to see you guys on the next one. Keep watching movies and take care.